What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline. As always, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on this video. We are currently sitting at about 175 subscribers, and we have a goal of 250. Once we hit that 250 mark, we will be giving away an Arkham series Harley Quinn hot toy courtesy of Lane. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you like what we do here and you want a chance at winning that Arkham series Harley Quinn hot toy. But without further ado, let's hop into episode 6 of Copper Flop. Today we got a few exciting releases this morning from Hot Toys. It was mentioned online that these Hot Toys were released due to a new store opening in Shanghai for Hot Toys. So because of that, they released these 3 figures. I will provide some release information towards the end of this video, but they are exclusives for the Shanghai store opening. But let's jump right into it. First, guys, I know everyone immediately is like, no way, they're reissuing Mark 46. Yes, they are. So the gentleman that has been commenting on the post from Hot Toys for many, many months, maybe it's been over a year at this point, you got your Mark 46 reissue. It's not as much a reissue, though. It's more so a 2.0. It does look like there are some improvements to the overall structure of the figure. I see a lot of finer details in the original release, so that's always good to see. But let's go through the photos here. You can already see right off the bat, guys, the paint job is incredible on this guy, and the engineering is second to none, as always, with Hot Toys when it comes to Iron Man. I am happy to see that we didn't lose out on the damaged chest. If you guys have seen Civil War, which is where this particular figure is from, Cap and Iron Man get into a dispute, mainly due to Bucky. But because of that, Cap ends up shoving the shield into Iron Man's chest and breaking his arc reactor so he can no longer continue the fight. And that's what this battle damage chest plate is based on. So really cool to see that they included that. I just want to go through more of the photos here so we can get an idea of what's coming with this package. Now you can see here, there is a special diorama base that comes with it. It seems like Hot Toys is a big fan of those right now. We are getting a lot of these diorama bases with these newer figures. I noticed some people on Facebook were mentioning that that's their way of pushing up the price. Maybe. With that being said, though, I am a fan of the diorama bases. I think it adds a bit more to the display of your figure. I know everybody doesn't have the room for them. I totally get it. But I think Hot Toys is going to keep pushing them out because it's nice to be able to make an overall scene with all these different bases that you get. This is a nice little flight pose here. Wouldn't expect any less from an Iron Man figure. I'm glad to see that we got the booster effects with Iron Man. So that's really cool. I can't believe we're getting a Mark 46, guys. I knew it was probably in the talks, but I saw the Mark 6 coming first because that War Machine from Iron Man 2 is right around the corner. However, we got the Mark 46. I know this is a fan favorite, so that makes me a little less surprised, but still very cool to see it. I love the paint job, and I really do love the shape of the arc reactor section. I always have. I told myself I wouldn't be getting this figure on the secondary market because it's so expensive. And now everybody who waited, like me and many others, it's time to get your Mark 46 for retail. If you haven't noticed already as we're going through the photos, guys, they did not include a head sculpt with this one, unfortunately. I know the original one did have the head sculpt. This one does not. However, if you're like me and you have quite a few Iron Man figures in your collection, you can steal a head sculpt from one of those and apply it with this one and still achieve a similar effect. I know the one would have been bloody after he got in the fight with Cap, and you could have recreated that scene, which a lot of people want to recreate. But hey, if you have the Mark 85 battle damage, and for whatever reason you're not using that sculpt, there you go. And there's many others that have a bloody effect to them. So, not a huge issue. I would have liked to seen the sculpts probably instead of the diorama base. I think a lot of people would agree with that, but I'm working with what we got. I'd rather have this than pay $600+ for the original Mark 46 diecast. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. That's just one of the missing points, in my opinion, is the head sculpt. I really love that scene. It's very emotional, obviously, between Cap and Iron Man. So I would have loved to recreate that scene with the head sculpt of Tony Stark, but that's okay. I'll take what we can get. At least we got the battle damage chest plate. But this is like top tier Iron Man, in my opinion. The engineering is incredible, as always, on this figure from what I could tell, and the paint job is second to none. Those colors are really going to pop on the shelf, as Iron Man always does. But this one is definitely really special. I think if anyone was praying for a reissue or a 2.0, it was between this and, again, the Mark 6. So who knows? Maybe the Mark 6 is next. I would love to see it. But that's about all he comes with. We're going to scroll through here. Love that back shot. Let me zoom in a little bit. The details on the back shot here with the different parts opened up, it just looks incredible, man. I mean, there's nothing more I could really say about it. It looks incredible. It just shows that Hot Toys continues with their amazing attention to detail. Even the opened up pieces here have the under detail as well. Can't really complain there. I think it looks amazing, and that's top tier Iron Man engineering in my opinion. Man, look at this. That's a better close-up of the battle damage chest plate that I mentioned earlier. Just love the way it looks like it's tearing through, and you could see the underlayer. I also love the bits of battle damage here and up here as well. They kind of spared no expense on this chest plate, and I love to see it because, again, that was a very special moment in this movie, so I would have been very upset if they left it out, and I think a lot of people may have considered the original one if we didn't get this chest plate. Just saying. The head sculpt might sway a couple people, but I think the inclusion of this chest plate will make a lot of people happy. Great detail here on the wrist rocket. I know they like to include these with a lot of Iron Man figures, and I think that's a big plus because I am a big fan of that look where he's holding out his arm, getting ready to shoot one of his rockets. Here's actually a better shot of the base by itself, and you can see the different details and such, all the bent metal and rubble and such. I love the way they're doing these diorama display bases with kind of like a display plate that blends in almost with what the diorama looks like. I think that's very clever, and I think it looks really clean. But it's amazing to see another Civil War release, guys. Amazing time to be a Hot Toys collector for sure. But that's all you get for this figure. Again, no head sculpt, but I think they gave us enough to where I'm happy with what we got from Hot Toys on this one. But I think that I am happy with what this comes with. Obviously, we're still waiting to see pricing and such. I do have the Hong Kong pricing, so I will pull that up here on the screen towards the end. But that's all we have for Iron Man Mark 46. Let's move on to the next release. So we got another Chrome figure, this time a figure that has seen a Chrome release before. If you guys aren't aware, we did get a copper and a gold Chrome Clone Trooper in the past. From what I understand, this one is a bit different. I was told that these are more of a matte finish in person, and I'm simply basing that off of what I've been told about the Chrome Clone Trooper, which has recently released in Hong Kong and starting to prepare to ship in the US. But with that being said, it looks incredible, guys. I think the shining feature for this figure, and let me see if I could zoom in here. These green lenses, man, they just look amazing with the chrome. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, wow, another repainted trooper, just what we wanted. And I totally get it. I know a lot of people are going to be a little upset at probably all of these releases, if not most of them, because you'll see when we move on to the next figure that we kind of got another reissue in a way, but just from a different film. And this kind of runs along those same lines. It's just a repaint. So I totally understand if a lot of you are like, this is a total flop for me. This is not what I wanted. We're still missing a lot of figures that we need. With all that aside, I'm just commenting on what I think of the figure and how it looks, and we'll discuss that more towards the end. But with that being said, this is a really nice looking figure, especially if you purchase the Chrome Clone Trooper. This will be a really good companion piece for that figure. I know it's a Clone Trooper and a Stormtrooper. I get it, but for me, I think they'll look amazing on the shelf together, and that's where mine will be. Only because I'm not a huge fan of the original Chrome Stormtroopers. I thought they looked a little cheap, which is why I was glad to hear that these had more of a matte finish over the chrome portion. I think that's going to be more pleasing to the eyes, in my opinion, and look a little less cheap. But I think it's beautiful. It comes with your standard accessories. You get the pistol, and then you get the E11 main blaster. That's about it for the accessories for this guy. But to be honest with you, that's typically what we get for a Stormtrooper. They don't come with much. I'm happy to even see that we got a pistol to come with them, because honestly, I would have expected just the E11 and they call it a day. I'm loving how shiny he looks despite the matte finish that's apparently over the chrome. I still think he looks plenty shiny, and I really do dig these bases here. Unfortunately, they don't have a metal nameplate, but I do like it. It's something different. We've had the same stuff for Star Wars for a while. I know you guys know that we were cursed with the sand footprint base. So it's just nice that they're switching it up a little bit with the Star Wars line. You can kind of see here the nice weathering detail on the blasters. Really, really dig that. I like they're continuing to put plenty of weathering. We do get a decent amount of hands with this guy. I'm not going to complain about that. Again, it's just a Stormtrooper, but I think they gave us enough to where you can kind of pose the Stormtrooper in any way that you want. So no complaints there. But that's about it for the Chrome Stormtrooper. Let's move on to the final release. So guys, the final release, yet again, another Captain America. I will say, I do understand why they did a Cap and an Iron Man figure. This is, after all, a Shanghai exclusive run of figures for the new store opening up there. Obviously, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, these figures sell very well in Hong Kong. So it would make a lot of sense for Hot Toys to drop these figures. But with that being said, guys, this is a really, really nice figure. I did see some photos, though, online where they were comparing the Endgame film stills to this. They definitely got the color a little bit wrong. It seemed like it was a decent amount darker, more like the Endgame main figure that we got previously. This one is a bit light in color. But with that being said, I kind of like that because it kind of sets itself apart from the main Endgame figure since they're two different tones of blue. But the head sculpt's looking amazing. I'm definitely digging the head sculpt. No issues there. I am, of course, as always, worried about the shield. The 2012 Cap shield was really bad for me. The moment I took it out of the box and went to unclip those little clips on the back of the Cap shield, they broke on me without any force whatsoever. So I'm hoping maybe they improved that. Probably not, because they seem to use that same design for most Caps. But who knows? But that is my biggest worry with this figure. Also, the articulation, of course, is probably going to be about the same as the Endgame Cap that we got previously, the main one. The articulation isn't horrible, but the suit is a bit tight and the material is a bit restricting. But I think you could see here, you can put it in decent poses. I will say, though, I think the material is pretty forgiving. I don't think it's one of those where you have to avoid posing it because you're going to damage the suit. It's a nice, thick material if it's the same as what we got with the first Endgame Cap release. So I'm not too worried about that. You can see someone zoomed into the mouth here. The people in the Hot Toys comments never disappoint. We got a little mouth shot here. I can't zoom in any further. We got a little mouth shot here. A little goofy, to be honest with you, but kind of cool nonetheless because you can kind of have him in an action pose. And maybe that's what Captain America looks like sometimes when he's getting into some action. Here's a different swap out mouthpiece. If you haven't noticed already, that's something that they do a lot with these type of figures where they can separate the mouthpiece. Definitely dig that look. It's a nice, heroic, patriotic look, in my opinion. Love that pose there. This is the biggest selling point for me. He actually comes with the fried Infinity Gauntlet that was taken from Thanos after he did the work and everything was finished. This is what remained after he used the stones to destroy the stones. This is really cool. I'm glad to see this included. I love the details, though, on the suit. Again, there are some inaccuracies which some people have pointed out. But I love this little Rogers font here, and I love the detail up here with the American flag patch and everything. Definitely looks really good. And that head sculpt, man. I know a lot of people are on about the Bucky head sculpt, but if this looks like it does in the final product, I think a lot of people will be satisfied with that. But I'm definitely really digging this release so far. I love that it's something a little bit different. Again, the inclusion of the Infinity Gauntlet, the toasted one that we haven't received yet with any other figure, that's really cool to me. That makes this figure that much more worth it to me. I will say I could see why a lot of people would pass on this one. We did get the incredible 2012 Cap from this film. And we also got the first Endgame Captain America from that incredible final sequence in Endgame with our favorite heroes. So I could see why a lot of people would pass on this one. However, I feel like since I already have two of the Caps, maybe I should consider picking this one up so I can have the full Endgame Cap line. You'll have to wait and see towards the end of this video whether I tell you if I think they're a cop or a flop or not for me. But that's about all he comes with. Pretty standard Cap issue as far as accessories. It seems like for the most part they don't include many different things. I think that's probably why the 2012 cap was so appealing, apart from those beautiful colors, is that case that came with the staff from Loki. I think that made it that much cooler. But again, with this one, you do get that toasted Thanos gauntlet, which is really cool. I think the proportions are kind of on par with the first Endgame cap. I know Captain America has suffered from those issues a lot in the past, but I'm glad to see that for the most part, this looks identical to the first Endgame release. No complaints there. I do like to see that shield on his back, so I'm guessing there's a magnet in that. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be magnets in his arm. You can still see the straps, of course, but that's probably wishful thinking, isn't it? I'm digging that head sculpt, man. I'll probably end up giving him the head sculpt, I'll be honest with you. Just because I love the head sculpt look, especially with him here holding the gauntlet. That's probably how I'll display mine. I'm a big fan of including all of the cool accessories if possible, and including the head sculpt on it is one of them. I'm a big fan of head sculpt, so I'll probably use the head sculpt, guys. I know a lot of people are like, no, you can't do that, you got it. But here's the thing. My main Endgame cap has his helmet on. My 2012 has the head sculpt. I think I could squeeze in another head sculpt for this guy, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to do that. But this is all you get. Here's the final photo. Of course, you don't have Captain America without Peggy Carter. So it's awesome to see that he comes with this little Peggy Carter photo. I could see a lot of people maybe displaying theirs with that because that's a really cool accessory. Again, for me, this top row here is all me. That's all me. I love the shield look. I love the head sculpt. And that gauntlet is definitely going in his hand. And it looks like he's holding it pretty well in the photos. So hopefully that's translated once everybody has it in hand. But that's it for Cap, guys. Let me pull up this other link here because I got some information for you regarding these figures. So, we're pulling up the very slow Hot Toys website, but there's a reason for that. Once this decides to load, there we go. So there's our beautiful chrome Stormtrooper. Let's click on the details. Let's zoom in real quick. I don't know, guys. Q3, Q4, 2022. I'm feeling it again. This feels like the Chrome Clone Trooper and the Arena Boba Fett. I'm just going to say it now. That's what it feels like to me. As always, I'm not trying to rush you into a panic for a pre-order or anything, but you need to keep your eyes out and you need to pay attention. Because I don't want you guys to get in a situation where you feel like you've missed out tremendously because you weren't paying attention and it sold out too quick. At the very least, once I show you guys the numbers that were released in Hong Kong, I think that it'll make it easier for you guys to make your decision. I will tell you this next screenshot that I'm going to pull up will be pretty surprising to you all, but these are about to arrive in Hong Kong already. Thank you to Monica Du for this information. But as you can see, Monica says all 3 figures are ready for direct pickup from the Shanghai store from the 14th to the 21st of August. From the 23rd to the 31st of August, it's up for purchase directly at Shanghai Disneyland. So guys, these are already about to be in collectors' hands in Hong Kong in less than a week. So what does that tell you? What are the lessons we've learned? What should we learn from the Chrome Clone Trooper and such? Pay attention. Pay attention, guys. I'm going to pull up the numbers here. And I think, again, this will help you make your decision on what you should do. So, let me pull this link up here. So, for the Mark 46, we have 1,700 units in Hong Kong. That one I would pay attention to, but I wouldn't be terribly worried about just yet. Being that there are 1,700 units in Hong Kong, that's a decent number. I would think that that one's probably going to be available for a little bit in the US. Again, still pay close attention to it, but nothing to panic about. But the next one, the Captain America Stealth Suit 2.0, 250 units. Guys, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. You need to take lessons from the Arena Boba Fett and the Clone Chrome Trooper. Again, I do not want to send you into a panic for pre-orders, but if you are considering these figures, you need to keep that in mind. When these show up to Sideshow, I would consider possibly pre-ordering as soon as possible. 100%, I think these are going to be limited. It's just a matter of how long they will be available. If you need a reminder, the Arena Boba Fett had 300 pieces in Hong Kong. It sold out day one in Hong Kong, and it sold out day one in the US. Yes, they have been converting some people's wait lists, but as of right now, that Arena Boba Fett is gone. Same with the Clone Trooper. They are gone. The Clone Trooper lasted about a week. But the Chrome Stormtrooper, guys, 150 units. This is the one that you absolutely, in my opinion, should not play with whatsoever. If you're considering this figure, you need to pre-order this as soon as possible from Sideshow when it goes up. I just see this being another Chrome Clone Trooper 2.0. Heck, even sooner, an Arena Boba Fett 2.0. I don't know what the stock's going to be like. Of course, this is all speculation. Take what I say with a grain of salt. However, we did warn you all about the Chrome Clone Trooper and the Arena Boba Fett, and what we said ended up coming true, unfortunately. They did sell out very quickly. I understand that these are not for a lot of people, once again, because these are basically 2.0s / reissues / repaints. But if you want these in your collection, especially Captain America and the Stormtrooper, you want to consider pre-ordering sooner than later because you don't want to miss out if you're considering them. So let's do the calculations real quick for the Hong Kong dollars, and I'll give you a general idea of what I think the pricing will be. Okay, so 28.80 Hong Kong dollars to US dollars is like 366.87. For this one, I could expect probably 425 in the US maximum. That's my guess. For Cap, we're looking at 1980 Hong Kong dollars. Sorry about the typing. You're looking at 253.23. So Cap, I think he could probably be $300. I think we could possibly see $300. If we're going off of the Tobey Maguire price recently for the base, $300 was the price for him. So I could see $300. Possibly even 305, but 305 max in my opinion. I think I've come in a little high on these exclusives, and they've always surprised me, so I'm going to go lower this time. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say 300 for Cap. Now for the Stormtrooper, looking at 1480, so this guy's going to be pretty cheap. Let's see, 1480. You're looking at 188.54. So for this guy, I'm going to say 245. I'm going to say 245 for the Chrome Stormtrooper, possibly 250. But I wouldn't say anything over 250. The Chrome Clone Trooper was 275 in the US. However, he did come with more. He came with 2 helmets and more blasters than this guy did, I believe. So that's the reason I'm going lower on this guy. And again, I'm also basing it off of the Hong Kong pricing. But let's bring it back to the main view, and I will tell you guys my final thoughts on these figures. So we started with the Mark 46 2.0. What do I think of it? Well, as I said, I think it's a beautiful figure. I think that they've made some improvements to consider it a 2.0 over a normal reissue. I think it's an absolute cop for me. Again, if this never came out, I would have never paid the $600+ for the original version. But because this is being held in front of my face like a piece of candy, I have to grab it. So this is going to be a cop for me. I am a big fan of the diorama base. And again, I love that they included that battle damage chest plate. Moving on to the Stealth Suit 2.0 Captain America from Endgame. This one is going to be a cop for me. Again, I already have the other 2 Captain Americas from Endgame, so why not grab the third one and complete the trilogy, especially because the Chris Evans Captain America is done. The films are over and done with. We have a new Captain America, so why not round out the trilogy and get the third one? So that's going to be a cop for me. And finally, guys, the Chrome Stormtrooper. This one I was a bit hesitant on, but considering I purchased the Chrome Clone Trooper, I think this one's just going to look amazing next to that guy. And I'm also, again, a big fan of the green lenses and how they pop with that chrome. So with that being said, it will be a cop for me. Let me know what you guys think down below. Again, I know that a lot of people will probably have mixed opinions on these because they are kind of redos of previous figures. But you know my thoughts. Let us know down below what you think of them and if you're excited for any of them, if not all of them. But that's all I got for you. I know this is a bit of a longer one, but I wanted to squeeze everything in one video just because they're all part of the same release schedule. Hopefully, we'll see these up on Sideshow soon. And if you're wondering if we're going to get these on Sideshow, if you didn't tell already the way I was talking through the video, we're going to get them on Sideshow. I know the limited market text that we see on a lot of these releases scares people, but they do that a lot. They did it with Buzz Lightyear. They've done it with other exclusives in the past, so don't be too worried about the selected market stuff. We'll be okay. Sideshow's going to get them. I will say I don't know if Marcos from CollectorZown will be getting them. He put up a post earlier saying he wasn't sure. If you're a fan of CollectorZown and you like to purchase from there, definitely keep an eye out on the Facebook group. There's a link to it in the description below. But that's all I got. Once again, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel and drop a like on this video. I would really appreciate it. You guys did amazing on the last Copper Flop video. I really, really appreciate the support. It's just amazing to me the amount of viewers we have on the live streams and the amount of support I get on all of the videos. So again, as always, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support. I do have 2 reviews right around the corner. I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say it's something different from Star Wars and Marvel. Hopefully I'll be able to record those this weekend. If not, definitely early next week. But that's all, guys. This is very exciting. We love to see more and more Hot Toys releases coming out, so we have more variety and options to choose from. We will see you this Thursday on the live stream. As always, we stream at 7:30, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So definitely come check us out if you like viewing the live streams, and have a good one.